Ukraine again found themselves in encirclement, as Russia attacking on the entire front line. It's day 1590 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Today we are gonna look at the entire front line, starting from the Zaporizhzhia front. As many of you may know, here along with the Hulyaipole front, Ukrainian armed forces are putting maximum effort in counterattacks to try and push Russian forces back to Maryinka. However, on the Russian side, Russian paratroopers are giving strong resistance. According to the latest update from the front, Ukrainian forces are trying to enter Plavny from Primorska, while Russian paratroopers are attacking Primorska from the south. At the moment, intense fights are taking place in this area, where both sides are actively fighting for control, so it is currently considered a gray zone. The Russian push towards Zaporizhzhia created a panic inside the Ukrainian command, as it had potential of a major breakthrough. Now let's quickly cover the Orikhiv front. This front has been silent for several months, however Russian forces have seemed to reactivate it. According to the sources, Russian forces from Maryinka launched an attack on Avdiivka and entered the settlement from the south. However, at the moment only this advance has been confirmed. Since the Ukrainian summer counteroffensive, Orikhiv has been one of the strongest defense nodes of Ukrainian armed forces. Furthermore, with open fields around the city, makes it very difficult to advance on this front. In my opinion, the only way Russian forces could capture Orikhiv without paying a heavy price is from both the flanks. And before winter, we saw them doing exactly this. However, Ukrainian forces, realizing that this could collapse the entire southern front, launched counterattacks on both flanks. The second reason Ukrainian forces are so focused on recapturing the lost areas on Hulyaipole and are using significant resources is that they want to push Russian forces from Dnipro Oblast completely. We can see that the Ukrainian higher command thinks, if the front line is frozen at the current state, they don't want to give up part of Dnipro Oblast. The timeline and axis of attack of the Ukrainian counterattack supports this theory, but as you can see I can't 100% prove this. But there has been an update. As you know, Ukrainian forces were attacking from two major directions up until now, however they are finding strong resistance from Russian forces on the northern flank. So they have now started attacking a little further up north from Avdiivka. Latest update from the front claims, they were able to recapture this area. In addition, west of Hulyaipole, they were also able to take control of this area. Now moving to Pokrovsk front. Russian forces are attacking from three major directions. From Molodetska, Russian forces were able to capture this open field, while their fellow units from Rishine were able to capture this open field along the highway. However, one of the interesting updates came from Rodinske, where sources claim Russian forces closed the encirclement and encircled few Ukrainian soldiers. However, at the moment current numbers are unknown. Now moving to Constantinople. Within the city, Russian forces continue to attack the last remaining section of the city. However, significant movements are happening a little north around Stinky. As you know, Russian forces are trying to force Ukrainian grouping entrenched here to withdraw by threatening to close the encirclement. However, Ukrainian forces are defending it very strongly. So in the last couple of days, Russian forces have launched an attack towards Popasna, the rear of Ukrainian forces defending this section. On top of that, they are being heavily shelled by Russian forces. Collapse of this section could accelerate the Russian pace. Now on the eastern flank of Sloviansk, Russian forces are trying to flatten the front line. According to the latest update, around Nikiforivka, Russian forces were able to clear and capture this area. Currently this area has been cleared. Furthermore, up north from Krivolovka, they captured this area. Sources claim they might close this gap in the coming days. Now near Lyman, we have not seen any major changes. Russian forces continue to attack the city, which is mostly in a gray zone. However, Ukrainian forces have now apparently launched a counterattack from the north, trying to eliminate the Russian bridgehead. Now moving to the Sumy front. Here both sides are on the offense. Ukrainian forces are trying to recapture Maryinka, as attack from south along the road. However, Russian forces are having the most success. Near the border, Russian forces were able to cross the river and capture forested areas. In addition, from Zaporizhzhia, they managed to push Ukrainian forces from this section, and also captured half of this forested area. Furthermore, they have also started to cut Ukrainian forces attacking Maryinka. Recently, they even captured this area near the road. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.